Okay. Boy, oh boy. Just gonna take a little time, let the folks come in, all the interested people in our conversation tonight.
All right.
All right. So here we go. Another wonderful night on this planet Earth. And we are here again with the Polka Dot Rabbit podcast. And if you haven't been here before, of course, please follow the Polka Dot Rabbit podcast on YouTube and Instagram and TikTok. And just so you know, let me kind of go into what the Polka Dot Rabbit podcast is about. Polka Dot Rabbit podcast. We are here to uplift humanity overall. In addition, we are here to aid and assist in waking up the melanated zombies that have been walking the globe and been asleep for way too long. So, in saying that, we do have a diverse group of guests and topics. And um, if you haven't already, please go to polkadot.rabbitpodcast.com and check out my book. Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry, I normally have my prop. Let me go get that for you, so you for y'all new folks, I can see it. Okay. Yes, please go to polkadot.rabbitpodcast.com and check out my book, Bicultural Living and Leaving the World of Illusions. Um, a journey about being a black man in America, traveling the world, experiencing life, and really coming to where I am now. So it's a good read, I would say. Enough of me, enough of all of that. Let's go get to this very important guest. Um, this is Teresa, and I'm going to go ahead and I had the pleasure of seeing her put on an event this past weekend, and it was quite amazing to say the production. It was she did a short film that she produced, correct? Um,
Yes.
yeah, and it was very entertaining to say the least, and the whole thing was really good. So again, I'm done here. Go ahead, sister. Go ahead and tell the folks.
It was actually it had three parts to it. It was a fundraiser because I have a nonprofit from School to Possibilities, and then we had went into just premiering the short that we should release on I believe the 15th, and then we had a couple of amazing dynamic performers come and do their thing. So it was really a good evening. Good evening. A lot of family and friends showed up, so it was a good evening.
Yeah, I had a blast. It was good. I'm very happy that I was advised to come on out and support. It was great. Okay, but yeah, go ahead. So go ahead and tell the people what you do because you got if you haven't seen her what do you call it? Her bio, which I put in the description. This sister right here, boy, good gracious,
And
she
I was
got it
being
going
I was
on
trying to be
in so
modest.
many ways. In so many ways, I'm very impressed by what you got going on. So yeah, tell the people where tell the people about
Well, I was born here in Atlanta, so I'm a proud Grady baby and raised in, grew up in Miami. So shout out to Miami Central, home of the Rockets. So yeah, I represent the 305 and the 404. So so after graduating, I went into the military. Total time was 21 years. I did 10 years active and 11 Guard and Reserve. Been quite a few places, seen quite a few things.
you.
But I wanted to come back to Atlanta because Atlanta was home. My dad's side of the family was here. So I wanted to come back home and I wanted to give my daughter um, a foundation because, being in the military, you move around quite often. And I wanted her to have those childhood memories because I'm still friends with um, my a friend that I met since second grade. We're still friends. So I
Mhm.
wanted her to have some of those experiences. So we came back here, settled down, and we've been rocking and rolling. Been
Mhm.
rocking and rolling. We still just, I guess, working the 9 to 5. Not, but it still was something. I guess a part of me wanted to felt that I wanted I had a calling to do more
Mhm.
because but life gets in the way and life challenges, so you have to handle that first.
Mhm.
Um, but in I would say what was that 2016? My husband and I had actually we had started Territorial Entertainment, but we were still just getting our feet underneath it. But when I got laid off in 2016, I had to really figure out what's next
Mhm.
because I knew that I did not want to go back to that environment. So getting laid off was a blessing in disguise. I mean, I still went through all the emotions like, okay, what are we gonna do? Household runs on two paychecks. So so went through all of those, but that job was very taxing to the spirit. It was very hard. It was very hard. So and God was telling me like, you need to go. And I moved too slow because I was like, I'm gonna stick it out. I'm gonna make sure that it's not me, even though I knew it wasn't me. But just gonna make sure that I'm doing everything possible. He's like, okay, you wait right there.
Mhm.
But with that experience, it forced me to really say, what is it that you want to do? Because I knew that I didn't want that experience again ever. I want to think about me because it's been so long of taking care of somebody else, making sure they're good. But I lost me in my entrance.
Mhm.
So it's like, hey, I got time.
Mhm.
So we really just dove right in of doing more volunteering. We got into we was already because my husband's a sound engineer, so he does the studio and stuff like that. But we started thinking bigger. So less. So we ended up we get in this recording studio. We kind of venture out into video because that's just a natural progression, because those two industries need each other. They rely on each other for is the film and music. You need both. And we started writing. Got these shorts. We got a couple of shorts underneath us. We're getting ready to do a play come March, April of 2023. The name of that is The Struggle of a Father's Love is loosely based off his interaction with his baby's mama and his son, and that ups and downs of that relationship. So, and it'd be told from a man's point of view, not a woman's, because
Mhm.
we don't get that point of view often. You always hear that, the woman and the deadbeat dad, but what about the fathers that are out there that's doing it and trying to do it, and then it's the mother that's in the way.
Mhm.
So that's the approach that we're going with that. And like I said, I have a couple of books myself. I did a children's book. So fast forward to COVID, because even though that was I don't even know what the words to say about COVID, but it was one. It was a couple of good things that came out of that for me personally. It forced me to sit down because we were going 20 miles per hour, or 100 miles per hour actually. And I've always wanted to write a book. And I had to sit down and think because I have a granddaughter now. So what's my legacy that I'm leaving to her? And I wanted to give her something to also look at because you don't see a lot of books as of African American, especially of a darker hue. So I wanted to give that to her. So the book is called The Adventures of Hildy and Carlos. And there's two out there. One is we're going to Paris and one we're going to Guam. And it's based off her relation, it's based off my granddaughter and my grandcat. Because my grandcat was Carlos. So it's based off their relationship and their friendship. So, and then, but it's also teaching because I want to also incorporate. I think if we, because sometimes, adults get in their own way. Maybe we get to these kids and teach them tolerance of somebody that's different or speak differently. Maybe if there's some hope for the next generation and hopefully we can get rid of stuff like racism, you know,
Mhm.
and all that other stuff. So that's what that was based off of.
Mhm.
And then the other one is Articles of Life, which is different snippets of my life, just written into more of an article of, just talking about exactly what happened, no holds barred, and how
Mhm.
I overcome it,
Okay.
because just growing up, there was a lot of things that happened that I guess pivoted and changed the course of my life. So I just
Mhm.
wanted to put that out there, and if I can help just one person, I've done my job.
Yeah. It's interesting because somebody, and I want to talk about this to kind of to hit things off. Like, I always love this subject, and I always love people like you that have done it. Um, to hear your perspective, just your view on it, and that is travel. Um, since you were in the services, did you travel a lot?
I traveled enough. I my first duty station was Minot, North Dakota.
Oof.
When I told my grandmother that, before she passed, she's like, "Baby, you going overseas?" I was like, "No, Grandma, it's here in America." But yes, that was my first duty station was North Dakota,
Mm,
and then after that we went to Guam. Then after that we went to Germany, and while I was in Germany, I got a chance to visit different countries.
mm-hmm,
We went to Paris like at least 3 times, you know. So went to Switzerland and just doing those things. And then I went. My next duty station was in New Mexico, and that's
mm.
where I decided to transition off of active duty and go into the guard.
So, because in my book I talk about how I lived in London for close to 6 months and how being over there really changed my perspective on a lot of stuff. Like, did you have a similar experience when you lived over there?
I absolutely love Germany because
Hmm.
of just being overseas. Period. If I didn't have
Hmm.
my daughter, I probably would have stayed in, and I probably would have retired overseas because
Hmm.
during the time I was over there, you wasn't looked at as
Hmm.
African American, Black, or
Hmm.
however you want to call us. You was looked at
Hmm.
as an American first,
Hmm.
and that's how you was treated, as an
Yeah.
American. And being military over there, you're in a foreign land. It forced people to, of course, you're gonna still have, those, but for the most part, it forced people to let down those guards
Yeah.
and just look at people as, hey, it's just a
Please.
few of us in this
Hmm.
strange country, so we need to stick together.
Yeah.
So, but
I always thought it was interesting when I was living over there, and I agree with you saying 100%. I always thought it was interesting because I realized that they weren't trained like we were trained over here dealing with race and all those issues. America's really a unique place of just the how terrible, they train people with race relations. You know what I'm saying? Because like, I was watching one of those shows. It was one of those Disney shows. I think it was Encanto, and they had this thing, and when it was a scene, and they had a family, and it looked like it was based in Colombia, but in the family, it was like you had almost every type of ethnicity in the family. You know what I
mhm,
mean? And all together, everybody's getting along, and a lot of people I know, that live across seas, especially like in Latin areas, they're like when they talk about race, it's like we don't have that issue because everybody in the family, we have everybody in the family that looks like that. You know what I mean? I always thought that was interesting. What were some of the biggest things that you really like that you held on today from learning, having traveling and living across seas?
I think I would say quite a few things, but the thing that come to mind is the adventureness. Because when I was over there was before GPS. You had a map, and you you had to figure it out, and just being not afraid to just explore. Um, unfortunately, that kind of passed on to my daughter because she got that adventurous spirit, and she decided for her I think that was for her master's. She did some research in China, and she pretty much backpacked. When I say backpack, through China, she went all over, taking trains, buggies, and all this other stuff to get her research. And I was like, that's a little bit too much of me. But that and just the acceptance of others that doesn't look like you, because or doesn't sound like you. Because like I said, I enjoyed, and I did get a chance to visit with London. We happened to go the weekend that they went on strike, so we had to actually just catch the subway and just try to figure it out ourselves.
Hmm.
But the fact that people can just be,
Yeah.
uh, you know, just be.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
and it was
yeah.
extremely difficult
Hmm.
coming back to the States
Woo,
because I got that reality check, you know,
woo.
because I had been overseas 6 years
Yeah,
by that
yeah.
time because I was 3 years in Guam and 3 years in Germany. So coming back to the United States and you get hit with the racism,
Hmm.
it was just it was a an adjustment to
I
say it.
still remember to this day coming from London here and flying in, and we had to. I was at BWI, airport, and I was on one of those buses that takes you from the plane that has to take you to the gates. That no, that you come right off the plane. And I just remember looking at the people inside the bus. You know what I mean? And I just felt the old American way back just inside that bus. It was like these people just greeted me with the American mindset. I was like, oh my God, I gotta go to this. You know what I'm saying?
You're
And then
back.
it took me a while, honestly. It took me a while. This was when I was in Richmond, and it took me a while to adjust. And that's when I was like, I can't sit here no more. And that's when I moved to Atlanta. And this is like 20 years ago. So believe me, I completely understand where you're coming from, 100%. So
I think everybody should go outside of this country
yeah.
and for if not just to see because America has its stuff,
Hmm.
but there are other countries that is worse. So
Yeah,
for
exactly.
one, it gives you, I think it teaches you tolerance, but
Hmm.
then it actually shows you that um, you could be somewhere else
Somewhat
and
worse.
start
Yep.
appreciating
Hmm.
the things you do have and the people that are around you that are definitely
Exactly.
supporting you.
Exactly. Yeah, and you're right, and that's a very important point because it does go both ways. Because as bad as we might have it, being black in America, a lot of stuff that we got to deal with, just unnecessary stuff daily. We still got a lot of stuff that we still have a lot of opportunity, literally, to do whatever we want here. You know what I mean? And you at this point in the day and time we are now, nothing can hold. There's no excuse for you doing anything you want, especially in America. There's no excuse. You
Hmm.
can do whatever you want. You have all the opportunity. You might have some obstacles, but you can get around those. So can't can't always bash America because it it is a land of opportunities. It is what you make of it. That is a fact, regardless. You know what I mean? And I see that as well. You know what I mean? Um, you said you had one book, children's book. What was your other books? Can you kind of talk about them?
Yeah, that was the Articles of Life. That was the one that, I'm just taking different chapters
Mm-hmm.
of my life and made
Mm-hmm.
that chapter and
Uh-huh.
just really discussing everything. And I mean, everything that has possibly happened. And I like towards the end, talk about how I overcame it or my analysis of that or how I move forward, you
Mm-hmm.
know, of that. So I just, different aspects. In some, the first couple of chapters is very deep, and
Mm-hmm.
then as we progress, it lightens up and become funny.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yes,
What did you feel any type of healing from that writing that book?
I did. Honestly, that book, I had been writing it for years,
Mm-hmm.
and or trying to start, and then when I finally got that first chapter, um, it really, I had to take a break because that first
Mm.
chapter was very hard.
It's heavy,
I
yeah.
actually had to step away, and I probably didn't come back to it for another year.
Oof.
But once I got past that,
Yeah.
getting over that hump of dealing with that, because you know how the black community is, things that happen, what happens at home stays at home. But
Mm-hmm.
that we got to get past, we got to get better
Yeah.
at communicating, at telling, at talking about it,
Mm-hmm.
because talking about those experiences may help someone else.
Yeah. Exactly.
Even if it's just if they can see certain signs, they're like, oh, I heard about this.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe avoid
Yeah.
some of those, you know, pitfalls.
Yeah. I agree. Yeah, yeah. I had a similar experience, like letting a lot of stuff go and putting it out so other people can experience it, and writing my book, and a lot of people coming back and being like, "Damn, I didn't know that happened to you," and all this kind of stuff like that. I was like, well, I mean, here it is, there, you know what I'm saying? That's once you put it out there, I
It's there.
definitely as well, yeah, you can see it, how that could be therapeutic. It was for me, in addition, when I didn't realize it, I think, till later when I got the feedback, but it definitely was.
I agree.
So
It was
yeah,
definitely therapeutic.
yeah.
It really
So
was.
it was 3 books total, right?
Three, yeah. So two children's books.
Hmm.
So The Adventures of Hildy and Carlos. We're going to Guam. Well, the first one was we're going. The funny thing with that was the original first book was supposed to be we're going to China because she's actually been to China,
Yeah.
but that's when COVID hit, and it's like ain't nobody checking for no China right now.
Nah, I ain't going to no China.
So we pivoted, and we released Paris, and then Guam, and then there's a third one. I just haven't released it yet,
Oh,
and
okay.
that's
Okay.
London.
Okay. Yep. Yeah. Good old London. And like I said, I lived there for a while. Yeah, I can't say much bad things besides that horrible weather over there, but um, I think people that live in America that don't really travel that much and go across seas, and don't really know the history of places like you said, Germany, London. They might just think it's a whole bunch of Europeans over there, but it's not.
It's a
It's
melting
not
pot
that.
too.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. You have literally, you have places in London when you just see it's like in Brixton, and what do you call it? I think it's South London. You know what I'm saying? Brixton. It's all like a lot of I mean, a lot of Jamaicans there. And then saw a bunch of Africans there, and I saw people from Poland. I saw people from everywhere, but you wouldn't think they're there just because it's London. But you know, London is just like New York, but just maybe a little bit more Europeanified.
Yeah.
Um, but so I'm gonna kind of fast forward because I gotta ask this question. What motivated you to write the 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 short? We call it the short, the brotherly love.
Yeah.
That's a short,
Brotherly
right?
love.
Yeah. And just kind of giving some feedback on that. I was invited to see your event. I didn't know anything about it. I didn't even know I was watching a short or nothing. I'm just sitting there like, all right, cool. You started talking about food. That made me real happy because I'm traveling. I was on the road. I sit down and then I hear the people. Well, I guess it was you speaking about what's going on, and they play this video, and I'm just watching this short, and I'm just like. I was like, this is dope. You know what I'm saying? I saw so many great things in it. The humor. I saw some good writing. I saw good cinematography. You know, when I watched that, I was really. I didn't know it was gonna. I didn't know it was a short, so I was waiting for like, I thought it was gonna be like
You
an
want
hour and a
more?
half. So I was all waiting. So when the credits came, I was like, what? So kudos to you and the whole crew. I think y'all did a great job. I can't wait till people can go and see that as well. So what was it? What made you write that?
Well, I have to give credit to my husband because he started it.
Okay.
It started off as based off of him and his brother,
Mm-hmm.
but we decided to enter into it was like a competition,
Mm-hmm.
right, for shorts, and we had to, but he had only just started it, so we had to go head on and just kind of flip it, finish it, cast it, videos, film it with a trailer, all about 2 weeks.
Woof.
All about 2 weeks. So, um, because this is actually the second. I'm
Mm-hmm.
explain that. So the first one we did for that competition, so it was good, but it wasn't the best quality because we were rushed. So we wanted to, but then he's like, okay, while we had the momentum of the actors, and shout out to all the actors because they gave up
Mm-hmm.
their time and, for nothing.
Yeah.
In exchange, we bartered.
Yeah, you didn't have
um,
that big time Sony budget, right?
yes, we still indie. Um, but we did the second one, but then we like, we can't have the second one without reshooting that first one to make it quality.
Mm-hmm.
So when we was like, okay, we're gonna redo it. But then when we was ready to redo the first one, all the actors wasn't available. So I
Mm.
was like, okay, we just gonna recast.
Okay. Yeah.
So that's how we recast and got the redone the first one, and then we actually pivoted a little bit and added a few things with the second one. And we actually was getting ready to go in production this to shoot the third one. That's when COVID
Okay.
hit. So the third one is written already.
Mm-hmm.
And that was it. I mean, my husband and I, we collaborate for his the writing, and he does the filming, and I do the directing, and and, and he always, I know I'm gonna get on his nerve, but I do everything else.
You heard it here. Oh,
But yeah,
um,
we have fun. We fight though because we're two creatives.
yeah,
So
yeah.
he has his view and I have mine. So we have to figure out how we can, meet in the middle. But being that
Mm-hmm.
I'm the director, I'm still gonna win.
Yeah. I'm kind of jumping around. So, being in the military, so many years, and it's really interesting because when I met you and you were talking about your projects, and I I knew you were extremely organized. Um, and heard a hint of discipline in there as well. Did a lot of that you think came from the military? Because I yeah, okay, I'll end that question there.
That and just a strict upbringing,
Yeah. Mhm.
very, strict upbringing, and yeah, the military just carry on over to the military, you know. But it definitely takes uh, a different mindset
Mhm.
to be in the military,
Mhm.
especially African American woman,
Mhm.
because we go through a lot of stuff.
Mm.
The brothers go through it too, but
Mhm.
then being a female, sometimes it feel like you get the worst end of that stick. But I
Mhm.
don't regret going into the military because I learned a lot. I met a lot
Mhm.
of great friends,
Mhm.
friends that I'm still friends with today.
Mhm.
So there's no regrets, but it wasn't easy. I put it like
Yeah.
that. And then I was in the Air Force, which is the easier of the branches of all of them,
Mhm.
but it definitely had its challenges just as well.
Yeah. Yeah. I can imagine that. I can imagine it. Whatever they say, whatever doesn't kill you make you stronger, right?
There you go.
Yeah. 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 So okay. So chronologically, you get out of the military. You when did you realize that you wanted to? Because I know you do a lot of you help a lot of people, correct? I know you do fundraising and different things. What what made you want to really just say like, I really want to help some people? Like yeah, what motivated you to do that?
It's just a part of my DNA, I guess.
Mm,
I get
it ain't.
enjoyment out of just giving back and helping because that's like I
Hmm.
think I'm a serial volunteer
Yeah.
to a
Hmm.
point where I overextend myself at times. But if I see somebody needs help, I'm that one that's going to jump in and like, okay, how can we fix this? What do we need
Yeah.
to do? So so
Yeah.
always that's always just been I guess a part of me. I
Hmm.
don't know.
Hmm.
Um, Because you'll think because I am an only child, at least from my mom. My dad had other kids, but my mom, I was the only child. So you think only kids are just selfish and all the other stuff, but no, no, it was always the opposite.
Yeah. Opposite.
It was the
Yeah.
opposite.
Yeah. Yeah. And and that's even like you said, just being a female. You know what I mean? Even quote unquote African American female, and just being in tune with self, you know what I'm saying? That's another thing that just, you know, I can see how that could be. You want to be a nurturer, you know what I mean? As a mother, so I'm sure that factored in as well, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
you know, um, okay. And is there is there anything that is there anything that how do you say it? Were there points in which you started dealing with whatever past situations? Have you ever had like closure with it? You know what I mean? Have you ever really, I mean, have you ever gone through therapy? Like, did you ever get to a point in which you really dealt with those issues and really understood, like what that why they happen or whatever the case may be? You know?
Now that's funny that you said that. Um, I would say in my first duty station, things really came to a head.
Mm-hmm.
There was just so much going on, and then boom, 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 and then my mom passed, so that
Mm.
set me over the edge.
Yeah, yeah.
So they, and then I was a security police, so I carried an M16.
Oof.
So so yeah, so they took my weapon. They definitely took my weapon because it's like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
um
Not a
now
good idea.
yeah, it wasn't a good idea. It really wasn't. I would say, to be very transparent, no.
Mm-hmm.
And it comes out in other ways,
Mm-hmm.
and to the point where I am now. I just last week I had my first appointment to go see a therapist, really, because
And
it's getting harder and harder to
mm-hmm.
suppress. Because
Mm-hmm.
I guess,
Yeah.
and it's bad. I know it's bad, but this is how
Mm-hmm.
I deal with it. I don't deal with it.
Yeah.
I guess it comes out of being a workaholic. It just, you just, yeah, it's been so much
Yeah.
that I've learned how to detach.
Yeah. 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 And it's interesting because it's like kudos for you to doing that first off. I have to say you because the T word or the H word, the therapy, help, whatever, it's not a bad word. You know what I'm
It's not.
saying? It's something that we actually need more in our quote unquote African American community because how much stuff that we deal with, a lot of black people have well not black people, a lot of African Americans or indigenous Americans, what do you want to call it? Um, we have PTSD just because of the things that we, deal with every day. You know what I mean?
Agree.
And and anxiety and all these different things that come along with, you know, you trying to go to Kroger and a police car comes behind you, you know what I mean? And you're like,
Your
oh
heart go
Lord.
like,
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And, I mean a lot of people don't even have to deal with, or you're just trying to get some food somewhere and people acting crazy. There's so many different unnecessary things that we have to deal with that and it's not like we don't have feelings, we don't have like emotions, we don't have a subconscious and that's taking all this stuff in, you know what I mean? So y'all don't know, man, it's a lot. A lot of us do know that because we live it, but therapy, and just like you're doing, even writing, but especially going to see help specifically, I applaud you for that. And
thank you.
I'm very
It
happy
wasn't
that you took
easy.
that step.
I ain't gonna even. It
Hey.
was very hard, but my husband stayed on me. Like,
Yeah.
your ass going, you losing your.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it just
You need to go talk to somebody.
exactly. And there's nothing wrong with that. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? That's I like again. I'm gonna keep on applauding you all day. I'm very happy that you decided to do that. And anybody that's watching this now realize, that you're not in this alone. You weren't even, there's so many people that have given so many resources to people to have help. In so many different ways. If you need to talk to somebody, get somebody to talk to. You know what I'm saying? It's
Agree.
drop the ego, the pride, and all that good stuff, and just do it. You know what I'm saying? If you want to do it for yourself, do it for people around you that you care about. So um, no, I just that kind of popped in my mind. That's why I asked that just about just going through stuff like you said. I can only imagine traveling around, seeing the things you did, and just being in an environment. That's I bet you got some stories, right?
I do. I do. I think that's going to be the articles of life, the military life.
Yeah,
That's the. Well, I got one book that's still I'm writing now, but that's the
hmm
second. That's after that because that you know dealing with just growing up and some of the things that I've seen or been exposed to or been happened to
hmm
me, it
hmm
was a lot. But then you transition into the military, and then it's just a whole nother wave
Yeah,
of crap. And
yeah,
then
yeah, yeah,
the add on top of that, I lost my mom. Me being the only child, that was my life.
yeah.
My mom was my world. Then on top
hmm
of that, I got pregnant.
Yeah.
So
It
it was a lot.
yeah, it's interesting you said that because like I was, I wrote a book and I was writing another book. Actually, I've written technically four books, but you know, the transition of life and just the world around me, it's like I had to reassess things, and I mean, I had to even take everything I've written, and now I have to like put it, compile it together, because even though they're separately, they're all still the same. You know what I mean? So, well, they can go together, I should say. That's a better way to put it. And so now it's kind of like, and even just the more experience you and older, the wisdom that you get of not only a person, but also the way you see the world, and you know what I mean.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, I was like, I'm gonna put this book out, then I'm just like, nah, I gotta make it the way that I can give, and it's still informative for the people that
Hmm.
that didn't experience a lot of stuff I have, and to help people. You know what I mean? My first book was like definitely um, it was a memoir, but it was also looking at society today from a broader perspective type deal. You know what I mean? With an open mind. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? So I feel you. I'm just saying I feel you on that writing that book thing. And having to go back. So I'm with you on 100%.
Go back and
What?
it's because you're reliving
Yeah,
all
yeah,
that trauma.
yeah. Drama. Yep, yep,
Yeah,
yep,
so it's
yep.
hard. It
Yeah,
really
it
is
is. It
hard.
is. It is. It is.
I
It is.
always,
But
my trauma. I always just 'cause I love my movies. So
hmm
like Beverly Hills, not what was that? With Will Smith and Martin Lawrence, Bad Boys.
Bad Boys. Yeah.
Bad Boys 2, when they were sitting, it was Bad Boys 2, and they were sitting in the video room, and Martin was trying to be vulnerable and tell him about, about his problem.
hmm
And Will said, like, and you got that box, and it's like, you got to, I need you to put my mama's titties, your erection problem, and all that. You got to be Jacques Cousteau to go, and I guess that's how I deal with stuff. I put it all in that box,
hmm
and you got to be really deep before
to get it and put
before
it.
I reveal any of that. So and I say that all to say it's very hard to put that in writing and then reveal that to the world.
Yeah.
Seeing people
Yeah.
looking
I
at you like,
agree.
yes, that did
I
happen.
I agree. Yeah. Yeah. I'm with you 100%. But of course, I was I was at a big library one where I think it was here in actually Virginia. I think it was here, and I saw this thing that came on the screen, and it said I think it was Toni Morrison, and she said I think it was a quote that said something like, "If you ever see a book that hasn't been written yet, you write that book."
Agreed.
Something, I'm paraphrasing, but
Yeah,
you
I
get the
agree.
gist of it. Yeah, yeah. And and I agree 100%. And that's why I think I'm gonna just keep on writing, because we all have our unique experience and our unique view on the world, and what we can give to others, to kind of see it from different perspectives, you know.
Yep, totally
Yeah.
agree. Totally agree.
So, okay, so now let's get back to this, because we got, now you done wrote books, you done wrote plays. No, no, yeah, no, you wrote books, you wrote shorts, and you said you got a
We did.
play
We wrote
coming.
the play. The play is ready to go. We just
Yeah,
need to
about to
find
say,
the venue.
please talk about, huh? um, please tell me about this play.
Okay. Struggle of a father's love. Like I said, is really kind of based off of my husband's experience as a father, of trying
Hmm.
to be a father,
Hmm.
with the baby's mother that's, I guess, using the child
Mm.
as a weapon to get whatever she wants,
Mm.
you know? So of course is to make it entertaining, it's loosely based off his life, but there's some stuff in there. But that's really, like I said, it's coming from a man's point of view, that that trying to be that father but's being denied because of
Mm.
that mother.
Wow.
So we definitely got some interesting things in there. And then you kind of do a backstory on both, because it's on both sets, because it's the mother and her friend, and then the mother's mother. So you'll see where she got her ideas from. And
Mm.
then you have the father, baby's father,
Mm.
and then him and his friend, and then how they were raised. And then you got the son in the
Hmm.
middle,
Hmm.
and how he's looking at both
Wow,
sets.
that's deep. That's heavy. That's heavy because you already know that so many of us have just dealt with that situation, and that scenario, and I think it's interesting just showing different views, you know, or different views and different angles. That's really interesting. I've never really seen that before. I can't wait to see that one.
And how I got it is definitely going to be different. I've
Yeah.
never, so that's why I have to find the right venue, because the lighting is going to be extremely important, because you're going to have two different sets,
Yeah, two different sets. Yeah, I see what you're
possibly
saying.
going on at the same time.
Gotcha. Oh, wow. That's heavy. So, okay. So we got books, plays, TV shows, and you and also you said that you deal you heavy with the church as far as
Yeah.
um
Well, I
yeah.
volunteer. We volunteer. We work at the church, and we actually have two nonprofits.
Mhm.
One, I still we got to get. I got to get that going. And then the other one, like I said, one is still with helping kids.
Okay.
The first one is Silence the Tears, and that is where we're providing financial support towards the transportation of abused kids to get to their counselors.
Mm.
Being a survivor of child rape, the counseling is so important to kids at that,
Mhm.
because there's so much going on.
Yeah.
Then when you experience a trauma like that as a child,
Mhm.
so I wanted to make sure that, because you got a lot of organizations that's going to provide you with that counseling, but I wanted to make sure that finances to get there is not a hindrance for that parent. You know,
Mhm. Yeah.
it's so important. It's so
Yeah.
important to get that child there. So that's where Silence the Tears come in.
That's amazing. Yeah, cuz unless you've and there's so many things like topics like you're just talking about, so many things that you just don't even think about that happens to people that you don't it's not on the news, what I mean? You don't see all these victims put all over the place, everywhere in the news or whatever the case. You don't hear about this stuff, but you know there's a lot of stuff, that there's a lot of ugliness in the world,
There
and that
is.
ugliness spills over into so many facets, and that's just hurt people that need help. So
Mhm.
again, kudos on that, because that's a very that subject right there and that whole topic, that's it's sad, it's hurtful, and it's deep, and it's thank you for much for your service and helping these young people out to to get to help aid and get help in such traumatic situations. I applaud you for that, definitely. You know,
Thank you.
definitely. So we got all right. So am I missing anything? I'm trying to go down the checklist.
Let's see what we got now. Let's see. I still volunteer with, like I said, the church, and then another organization, Women in Film and Television Atlanta.
Mm,
So far, but see, a lot of the volunteers is like, you're not. It's not a full time job. So
yeah.
you give some hours here and then
Hmm.
some hours there. So
In
that's
and
why
out.
how it all works. I know it seemed like a lot, but you know, it's not
Yeah,
full-time
I
job.
got you.
Plus we do work full-time. I do have a
Hmm.
full-time job.
Hmm. So you're one of those. See, you're one of those special people that found that special day that's 36 hours in a day, right?
Yes.
You don't have 24. You got 36 hours a day. You know what I'm saying? And you
Yes.
still don't sleep on any of those. Oh, good
I
gracious.
nap. I was
You
up
know.
at 3 o'clock this morning making a flyer.
Interesting. That's hilarious. That's excellent. All right. So I got to keep. I'm going down the checklist some more. What else we got?
I think that's it. I think
Are
that's
you
it. Plus,
serious?
plus having a husband and a daughter and a granddaughter.
Okay. And a cat.
And a cat.
Gra-
Definitely my baby. That's my
Yes.
baby right there.
Yes.
Now
Yeah.
she easy to please. As long as I just sit still and she can get in my lap, she good.
Mhm. Well, I wasn't. As you. Oh. No, I got nervous. I heard a bell ring over there. I was about to say I haven't got cat bombed on this live yet by mine. She look like she over there chilling. So I don't think I'm gonna get cat bombed, cat photo bombed or video bombed today. So that's good to know. But
Nah, I put her out. So she's mad at me right now, but I'll make it up to
she scratched into the door. She gave up.
her. Huh?
I said she scratched into the door. Did she just give up? She
Oh,
was
she
like,
just whines.
oh.
Yeah, she whines. So I make it up.
Any Do you, since you have the recording, do y'all produce stuff or you just mainly record like other artists?
As far as the music,
Yeah. Hmm.
for the most part, we record. My nephew, now he's a producer,
Hmm.
and a lot of those beats that are with Brotherly Love, those are
Hmm.
his. So shout out to dude over there.
Hmm. Okay.
So, but for the most part, I consider myself as that music consultant. I can tell you what's hot and what's not.
Gotcha. 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 Gotcha.
But I used to play. I mean, a musical family, I guess you want to say.
Hmm.
In high school, I definitely was in the band. My daughter, she's a musician. She plays double bass. She's classically trained. So, you know, she does her thing.
Hmm.
She's been in many of orchestras, including the University of Chicago Symphony.
Oh
So
wow.
she was in there
Wow.
for a little while she was there. She's finishing up her PhD now.
Okay. So what do we have? What can you tell the all the folks out here in the very near future with projects you got going on, what to look out for, how did they get in contact with you, if they need some to, could you kind of, talk to the folks about that, what you got going on and how they can contact you?
Well, I do spoken word. I don't do, but I enjoy the spoken word. I just host. I put on the event. The next one is scheduled for September 30th. Of course, we have um, Brotherly Love, which we will release September 15th, whatever that Friday is, 15th, 16th. Looking at an event with Mr. Picasso, um, trying to bring that R&B back. That is October 15th. But I have all that stuff on the website or
Okay.
in IG. So MiZZENTATL or TS Edwards _author. Or you can definitely go to Terradome ENT, TERRORDOMEENT. So that's always, oh, I forgot. You know what? That's
What?
how we host a radio show every Friday.
Oh, okay, see, I see now you missed the checklist.
I did. That's right there, the power
You
hour.
missed it, yeah.
It's the power hour with the Real Ass People Society crew. I am the president of the Real Ass People Society.
Okay.
So, and every first Friday, we call it Freaky First Friday. I have the resident sexpert in the house,
Hmm.
and we talking nothing but sex.
Okay.
And after that, the rest of the week, we just, we have like trending topics or just stuff like that. But we definitely keep it all the way real.
Hmm.
And and nothing is off the table.
Yeah.
Nothing's off the table,
I'm about to
and
check one of them out. You know what I'm saying? Y'all, I like that real talk. You know what I'm saying? No beating around
it
the
is
bush.
definitely
Let's,
not for the faint of heart. Like I said, we keeping it all the way real. Nothing's off the table.
yeah,
And
that's what's
then we
up.
do the Real Raw and Rugged on Saturdays. So get ready to start season 3 of that one um, this month, where we kind of interview, and hopefully you'll, you know, be a guest.
Sure.
But we interviewing folks in the industry, entertainment industry, whether they're artists, author, what have you, and just talking
Mm-hmm.
about their journey. You know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. I actually forget sometimes that I'm not gonna say forget, but you know that that I'm an artist and I write books and stuff like that because I'm always on the other end, and like people ask me to come, I'm like, oh, that's right. I do have some stuff to say. That's right. I
Yes, you
forgot.
do. Yes, you do.
That's I'm just people. I'm very people interest me. You know, just in general, just overall. That's why I love like just talking to so many people. You know, meeting beautiful individuals like you. It's a it's a blessing and an honor to sit down and talk with people like you. Just because you know people like you and a lot of people I talk and they give me hope to humanity. And like I said, I'm not just talking, I'm talking from all walks of life, all races, you know what I mean? Like
Yes.
we all got to work in this globe together. You got to live in this globe together. So, I always tell people that, if you got some sense, let's talk. You want
Hmm.
some if you want some BS, then that's a whole different story. Like I can't rock with you, but I don't care what your what do they call it? Your what do they say? Your skin suit? Is that what
Yeah, that
your
doesn't
skin suit
matter.
looks like? Yeah, I don't care what I've been around way too many people on this planet to realize that all people, no matter what they look like, you got the good, the bad, and the ugly in all of them. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yes, you do.
you know what I mean? Yeah. So it's hence part of the Polka Dot Rabbit podcast. Different colors. Um, but yeah, like I said, I really appreciate individuals like you that just have a higher perspective and insight when it comes to life and humanity, and again, the next time I text you, I'm gonna text you 2 thumbs up for you going to therapy. I'm very happy that you took that step.
My
You know what
husband
I'm
happy
saying?
too.
Yeah, 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 yeah. And you will be next. But yeah, that's cool. Well, this was an absolute pleasure. And all her information is actually in the description on here. Is there anything else you wanted to build on?
No, I just enjoy just being able, because like I said, I'm kind of like you, normally on the other side. So it's actually strange to be the one that's talking.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, I knew I was going to be able to get some interesting stuff out of you just like the second I met you. So, I did want to thank you very much for coming on, and I definitely want to have you come back on later on once you start getting your things rolling with some of your different projects and stuff. And hopefully soon, I guess hopefully soon we'll be working together in some other ways. So we'll just
Yes, we will.
yeah, we'll just
Yes, we will.
yeah, we're gonna make that happen. Well, that's it on my end. Like I said, the good Sister Teresa, all her information, the contact is in my bio underneath this video. Again, Polka Dot Rabbit podcast. If you haven't already, please follow and share this. Follow me, follow her. And if you're on YouTube, go ahead and press that subscribe button and share this as well. Put that like button on there. But besides that, that is it for me. It was what a wonderful again seeing you and talking to you. And all I can say is until next time.
Until next time, we'll be talking.
Yeah, indeed. Real soon, sooner than later, right?
Definitely.
Yeah. All right. Peace and love, and you have a great night. Peace and love to you and the family and your grandcat.
Thank you. All
All right.
right.
Peace. All right.
Bye.